But look, 50. Boy, I see you struggling making that G-Unit film studio out there in Louisiana where that cheapest land at. You thought you was gonna be able to do it. You thought you was gonna be able to get them loans, and it ain't. What's wrong? What's taking so long?
50 Cent says he gave the BMF family $5 million legal dollars. So he does not understand where the money went, how Lil Meech blew it before Big Meech got out of jail, but he feels extremely betrayed after that picture got taken between Big Meech and Rick Ross after he got out of jail.
I looked at it like, from that point, maybe 50 should have brung a bag for Meech and maybe a watch or something. Because obviously that's what Ross did or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I had in mind.
Lil Meech didn't just let 50 Cent down. He reportedly absconded with $10 and colluded with 50's fiercest rival in the process. After years of support, mentorship, and even financing his rehabilitation, 50 was left stunned by this ultimate act of treachery. With Rick Ross now involved and private messages surfacing, 50 Cent is set to face challenges ahead. Prior to this betrayal, there was potential, and 50 believed in it when he chose Demetrius Lil Meech Flannery Jr. to portray his father, the notorious Big Meech, in the series BMF. It wasn't merely a casting decision, it was a transformative opportunity. Lil Meech was not an actor. Instead, he was aspiring to make a name for himself in rap. Hollywood wasn't offering him any chances, but 50 recognized his potential. He enrolled the young man in acting school for 2 years and covered the costs himself, ultimately shaping him into a television star. That alone would have sufficed, but 50's contributions didn't end there. Behind the scenes, he was sending money to the family. According to FIF, he helped them secure more than $5 million in clean legal funds, money that could secure their future. This wasn't just a job for 50. He envisioned expanded opportunities, spin-offs, films, and multi-season story arcs. If all went as planned, the BMF brand stood to earn between $30 million and $50 million in time. For a family that previously relied on street power, this was a chance to go straight. Meanwhile, Big Meech observed from prison as his son gained recognition. The family name was back in the limelight, but this time on primetime television. Who was the driving force behind this success? Not a lawyer, not a buddy, not another rapper, but a businessman. 50 Cent. He revitalized the BMF brand, made it widely recognized, and set up the next generation for success. But that's not all. 50 didn't just maintain momentum, he remained modest about his involvement. For years, he minimized his role, never sought public acknowledgement, nor boasted about his financial support until now. Circumstances have shifted, and people are questioning why 50 is so upset over lost funds. Many speculate that he was banking on this money. Even Rick Ross is aware that 50 Cent is feeling the strain.
50, who own your masters? Who own your masters? I buy your masters. You better shut up. I will buy your masters.
He continued beyond that point.
But look, 50. Boy, I see you struggling making that G-Unit film studio out there in Louisiana where that cheapest land at. You thought you was gonna be able to do it. You thought you was gonna be able to get them loans, and it ain't. What's wrong? What's taking so long? I know you want to make your mama one of them walking stars thing put down there. Your mama live, her own walking star.
He struck a painful blow.
We call it renderings. You had the renderings, then you try to go get them loans, and ain't nobody loan you that money. You ain't even built the G-Unit studio yet. That might be why when I stood next to Meech, your knees buckled. Your knees buckled. Put your back against the wall. You're hustler.
The change occurred after Big Meech was released from prison in October. The man who established one of the largest drug empires in U.S. history was finally out. Everyone anticipated a reunion between Meech and 50, along with a press tour and some photo opportunities, possibly even a co-produced BMF documentary featuring the real Meech. But what followed was unexpected and surprised even 50. Instead of teaming up with 50, Meech surfaced alongside Rick Ross, the same Rick Ross who has been 50's rival for over 10 years. This wasn't merely a casual encounter or a brief handshake at an industry event. They engaged in extensive promotions, car shows, and a welcome home concert. Meech was sharing photos on Instagram with Ross as if they were close friends. There was no mention of 50, no gratitude, no acknowledgement, nothing at all. For 50, this felt like more than just betrayal. It was a deliberate act of disrespect. At first, he remained silent. But if you're familiar with 50, you know that silence often means he's preparing for something more. But where has the money gone? Because it isn't in the family's bank accounts. 50 claims claims he helped the family secure over $5 million from the show. Legal, legitimate money. He even wrote, "Why old boy didn't look out for Mimi and send him to acting school, Big Meech. All your people that was out did nothing for him. You come home thinking you the black Pablo Escobar and fed him up. I helped your family make over $5 million legit dollars. It's not my fault. It's all gone. You think people don't see you want to shine so bad you wearing the baby's jewelry. B, give the baby back his jewelry." Despite everything, Big Meech found himself out of money. Lil Meech is in the same situation. He's so strapped for cash that he's actually selling promotional videos for $500 each.
What up, though? Boston Road Bosses. And today I'm coming to tell all my supporters, you're a business owner, entrepreneur, wherever you got, I'm trying to make it go up. Hit me right now.
And 50 was eager to tease him. He jumped onto Instagram and shared, "Big Meech got Meech doing promos $500 a pop. Get you one while it lasts." But hold on, 50 Cent wasn't finished yet, not by a long shot. Just when he has exhausted his flair for disrespect, he surprises everyone by launching a whole GoFundMe campaign. Yes, you heard that right, a GoFundMe. For whom, you ask? Big Meech? Let's be honest, there's about a 90% chance that 50 cooked this up himself just to stir the pot, as that's clearly his style. Regardless of the creator, 50 shared it, and the internet went into a frenzy. The GoFundMe stated that Meech required assistance with his bills, reportedly a $30,000 monthly Airbnb expense. And of course, 50 added in his own cheeky little comment, "Help Big Meech pay his $30,000 a month Airbnb. That's one of P's cribs. Shout out to quality control." 50 didn't stop there. He went back to the scene, bringing 42 Doug into the controversy. 50 claimed that Doug supposedly handed Big Meech $100,000 and mentioned, "Your daddy, my ninja. You made a mistake giving Screech a $100,000. You could have given that to your ninjas. You've always been hard-headed." Doug naturally responded on Instagram, firmly supporting Meech and Detroit. "Can't no ninja convince me to go against Detroit? Either show me big bra, rat, or shut the F up talking to me." But how is it that a kingpin with a successful TV show finds himself pleading for rent money? Tony Yayo provided some insight. He mentioned in an interview that after Meech was released, he was actually seeking assistance from Lil Baby.
Me and Murder sitting in the backyard and you like, "Yo, little baby ain't give me no money. He came in the Ferrari truck. He had the Ferrari truck. He had 4 pockets full." I'm looking at this nigga like, yo, this nigga tripping. Like, little baby he's not obligated to give you nothing.
He was also voicing his frustrations about his son not providing any financial assistance. Now, let's discuss Lil Meech, as he isn't exactly improving the circumstances.
He was with 50. He's talking about stuff in the future. He made your family money. You know, you would think you would be a little bit appreciative, but motherfuckers don't have to be loyal to 50 in business. I guess that's how Meech felt, because he's his own boss. You know, but when you take little Meech and you put him in acting school, you know, you take him from Detroit. I remember him rapping when he was rapping and nobody was helping him from what I seen. Because I remember when Lil Meech was rapping. Nobody helped him, and then 50 put him in acting school, kept it on the low, and he made all this money. You understand what I'm saying? But to be young and have money, it's crazy.
According to Tony Yayo, Lil Meech is spending money as if he has an aversion to saving. He dropped $100,000 on Chrome Hearts jeans and spent $500,000 on a BMF chain. It's astonishing. His father is having trouble covering rent while he flaunts designer denim and Richard Mille watches. Then he had the audacity to get upset when 50 unfollowed him. It was reminiscent of someone who is financially struggling despite having cash. Yayo didn't hold back.
That's why I say that was like a bad management move, but from the streets, they're gonna do what they want to do. And 50's crazy. Know that. Y'all know 50's crazy. So, and then on Meech, and I look at that was bad management too, because we just was over there. We just took a picture with you at your house. But I felt like when we left there, it was a money thing, because what Lil Meech said about the Ferrari.
There were whispers that 50 was angry, not just due to the spent, but because it was done so carelessly. There was a lack of strategy, no investments made, and no thought to building for the future.
But if 50 Cent gives your family, you know, $5 million in cash, whether it's through acting, I think he was paying for acting lessons for Lil Meech, you gotta have some appreciation. And, you know, before more details unfolded, like $5 million, because people were like, oh, 50 Cent doesn't pay people. He's always suing people. Look how he paid Ghost from Power less than Mary J. Blige on Power Book. But if Lil Meech got $5 million and he's nobody except the son of somebody famous, then he definitely could have treaded carefully with this Rick Ross thing.
So just when it seemed like 50 Cent was finished clashing with Lil Meech, he reached the ultimate level of pettiness. Rumor has it that 50 purchased the halfway house where Meech is legally required to reside. This means that Big Meech, who once led a billion-dollar empire and had everyone from musicians to politicians on edge, is reportedly now paying rent to 50 Cent. True to form, 50 didn't let the situation go unnoticed. In a recent interview, he simply smiled and stated, "Business is business. I'm put that ninja on toilet duty cleaning up felonish all day." So while it may seem that Meech is released from prison, he is far from being truly free, and fans are thoroughly enjoying the drama. One person remarked, "50 is a real savage and has always stood on business. Nothing but respect to him. And this is the greatest burn I have ever heard. 50 makes my whole month." However, not everyone is convinced by the narrative. Some individuals believe this is simply a case of trolling and exaggeration.
This story right here is complete and utter bullshit.
This man suggests that Meech may not actually be residing in a halfway house.
As we know, Meech didn't actually leave for the halfway house. He's on home confinement because of the First Step Act and winning his 821 motion in federal court. After spending nearly 20 years in federal prison, Demetrius Big Meech Flannery left the federal prison in Coleman, Florida, Coleman Low, on October 15th for home confinement. Now, before you say I don't know what I'm talking about, it says right here that he's in the RRM in Miami. He's actually on home confinement. It says RRM because the RRM, or the halfway house, or really the re-entry manager, is administering his home confinement in Miami through the halfway house that's owned by dismissed charities.
But let's not forget we're discussing 50 Cent here. This guy thrives on controversy and possesses both the cash and the audacity to turn even the craziest stunts into reality. Meanwhile, Lil Meech has explicitly stated his loyalties. He took to Instagram declaring, "Before I asked God for anything, I made sure I asked him to bring my father home to my family. My prayers were heard. I care for you, Dad. Death before dishonor." That last part was a clear message. He was finished acting as a mediator. He was Team Meech until the end. What's worse is that it seemed they were trying to exploit the BMF name alongside Rick Ross, the one individual who hadn't lifted a finger to support the brand. When your adversary turns into your closest ally, that's when things get serious. Ross didn't waste any time. As soon as Big Meech got out, he slinked in like a viper, initiated plans for a welcome home concert, got Big Meech's approval, and launched promotions as if it was the comeback of a legend. But let's face it, this wasn't really about a concert. Ross spotted an opportunity. He gave Meech a small payday and used him as a chess piece. It wasn't genuine affection. It was all about tactics. It was revenge. And 50 saw right through the act. Then there's another person 50 holds no affection for, and that's Floyd Mayweather. You all remember this video.
I looked at the computer said, Floyd said, yeah, Nelly 50. I'm like, what did he say me for? Nelly your first baby mama, Melissa, then took your fiance, said that nigga.
When Lil Meech arrived at Lucky Strike Miami alongside Floyd Mayweather and Ross, it was clear he had struck a significant chord. However, his appearance had a purpose beyond just enjoying the nightlife. Meech showcased an exclusive merchandise release from his collaboration with Red Letters X, and even presented Mayweather with some items. To add to the excitement, Big Meech made an unexpected appearance by phone, engaging in a lively conversation with Ross and Floyd as if they were longtime buddies. Later, Floyd took Lil Meech on a car shopping adventure. They also made time to browse for some jewelry.
That's the same. Dad, one life. Dad, happy birthday, Sean. That's one of One Piece. One of One Piece. Money Team.
They had some fun at the arcade. Finally, they found themselves at LA. Now you're aware that 50 is serious about loyalty, and seeing Lil Meech associating with two of his main rivals really upset him. He quickly took to social media, sharing a video of Meech with Ross, and made jokes about the situation, mocking it in a way that clearly showed his irritation. He said, "You tell your pops, I'm a lookout. What's the address? I'm gonna send some wings over there." 50 deleted it, just as he usually does. However, it's clear that this struck a chord. 50 didn't merely support Lil Meech's career, he might have actually helped him survive. As 50 pointed out, Lil Lil Meech wasn't just wasting cash, he was thriving on the set. He wrote, "I thought about it. I think he was uncomfortable with me and Mimi's relationship. I'm telling Mimi I don't want him doing Dyer. He's telling him he used to do X, like it's cool. I tell Mimi, chill, stop spending all your money. He telling him how much money he blew. People don't know I had to send Mimi to rehab." Then 50 delved into the complicated specifics, claiming that Lil Meech arrived at the set under the influence, to the point where it was obvious to everyone present. Russell Hornsby peeped he was high as fuck on set. He started throwing up at a weapons test. Then Ian told me the Lil Ninjas had whippets in his truck. I said, "What the fuck is whippets? I look like it's the shit that is in baby guns." To emphasize his point, 50 even shared a video featuring Gene Deal his allegations about Meech conduct.
Thinking the dude was gonna do right by him and give him a bag and help him out and stuff like that, and he ended up being in the same spot and probably worse right now. Because just say this, man, just say if he would have held his head with 50 now, right? I don't know if 50 would have fucked with him, but 50 would have been like, "Yo, Tammy, leave that alone, ma. Don't put that on that dude." You know what I'm saying? And 50 wouldn't have been behind it. The only reason this shit grew the way it grew against Meech is because 50 was behind.
50 mentioned that he sent the young man to rehabilitation discreetly, covering all the costs without informing the media or making it known to the public. His aim was to safeguard him. However, now that loyalty had vanished, 50 was finished shielding anyone. The instant he realized he had been deceived by the entire family, he went into a frenzy. Then, 50 took to Instagram once more to deliver another blow. This time, he supplied evidence along with a familiar name. He uploaded a picture of Tammy Cowan, who you might recognize as Big Meech's previous business associate. 50 also shared a screenshot of a conversation with Tammy, directly asking her if Meech was aware she was supposedly ratting him out while he was behind bars. Her answer was affirmative, and the caption read, "Tammy Cowan's, the truth and nothing but the truth, coming soon." In case anyone assumed he was finished, added those bars to a new set of BMFs. But here's the kicker, he obscured Lil face in each one. It's like he erased the lead actor of his own show from the pictures, much like a bitter ex would do. If that's not classic 50 Cent, I'm not sure what is. In some now removed Instagram posts, 50 shared text messages from Lil Meech. In those messages, Meech Jr. pleaded for forgiveness, saying, "They just told me you unfollowed me off Instagram. Now you're mad at me when I take the shirt off my back for you. I can't believe this, man. You act as if I'm your enemy. I've only shown love and loyalty to humans. I go through my own shit, but I never switched up on you." Then he threw his dad under the bus, saying, "Ross, but he gave my dad some bread so he can afford to pay his bills until our next season starts. This internet is throwing me off, man. You know me in real life." But for 50, it was already too late. He shot back, "What's next season, little ninja?" Fans interpreted that as a sign that BMF was finished, and perhaps Lil Meech's career might be too. Trust is essential for making money, and Big Meech has made it abundantly clear where his loyalties lie. But what if this betrayal goes deeper? What if Big Meech is deliberately undermining his own son? This theory is gaining momentum, and it's not as far-fetched as it may seem. Initially, it appeared to be just another industry spat. Perhaps 50 was taking jabs, Ross was being crafty, and Big Meech was merely aiming to secure his financial future after prison. However, if you take a step back, it becomes clear that this situation involves a hidden father-son conflict masquerading as a rivalry between labels. Some fans believe that Meech's actions stem from jealousy, a kind of unresolved parental issue where a parent's pride is overshadowed by the success of their child. Instead of celebrating their child's achievements, they end up feeling overshadowed, leading them to act out and potentially sabotage their kids' opportunities. That's the tragic aspect of this situation. His could have been a chance for redemption, a powerful partnership between father and son. Instead, it's starting to resemble the decline of a legacy. A man returned home seeking to overshadow the son who kept his name alive, ultimately dimming both of their futures. With 50 stepping back, BMF is teetering on the edge. Starz hasn't confirmed any new seasons, and 50 has already indicated it might be the end. Meanwhile, Rick Ross is legally barred from creating a BMF film, as 50 holds the rights, and the harm may have already been done. But did Lil Meech truly betray 50 for $10 million? Or was this an intricate setup from the beginning, with Big Meech orchestrating things from behind bars? Was this entire situation a monumental act of betrayal disguised as loyalty? Or did 50 misjudge his ally from the outset? Share your thoughts, and if you're eager for more unfiltered insights, be sure to catch our next video. This story is just getting started.